Guys, welcome back to the Lifted Podcast. I have Elizabeth here. Welcome to the Lifted Podcast, Elizabeth.
Hi, thanks for having me.
She is a hairdresser. You're into fitness.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, her page, your hair today is gorgeous, by the way.
Thank you.
She will have a tutorial up
Yeah.
soon.
yeah, it was highly requested, so I had to redo my hair like this so that I could show everyone how to do it for themselves.
I straight up was watching all of her Instagram stories today because I saw your hair like that and I was like, you almost look like what's that mermaid from the Disney movies? Do you know what I'm talking about? The Little Mermaid.
Ariel herself.
Ariel
Oh, yeah.
herself.
I've gotten Merida also, like from Brave.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's like the
Oh my
curly orange
God.
hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've gotten that. I've gotten Ariel. I got Brave.
You've got this
Merida,
like princess
the princess
vibe.
like Anna from Frozen, even too.
Yeah, yes. It's such a vibe. It's such a vibe.
such a vibe.
I'm literally obsessed. Like everyone wants that princess hair, so you've got it. You've done it.
I was going for Jennifer Dory, but I'm like, I'll take the princess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all of it fits.
All
All
of
of
it
it works.
I like the princess vibes. Yeah, Ariel was actually probably my favorite one when I was a kid. I was like, I want my hair to look like hers, and then I grew up to have hair like hers. So
No, Ariel's my favorite.
was it her
Easily.
too?
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you always
But
like go underneath?
The first one.
Yeah, not the second.
Yeah.
not
No. The second
no,
one
the second
sucked.
was terrible.
The first one was so good.
It was terrible.
Did you see the live one? Like you know how they made
Yes,
all
with
of it?
Haley Berry.
I don't think I ever saw it. Was it good?
It was really good.
Really?
Her voice is phenomenal. There were some things like I don't love Aquafina.
Oh yeah.
I really don't like her voice, and they made her a female Scuttle. Yeah, so like as annoying as Scuttle already was, they somehow found him to be even more annoying by casting Aquafina to play the what is it? What is he? A
Yeah.
seagull.
Yeah.
He's a seagull. I was
Yeah.
gonna say a pelican, but he's not a pelican.
No, seagull.
He's a
Five.
seagull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like it's good, but yeah.
Yeah, like she was great.
Yeah.
Everyone else was great. That wasn't that great.
I still gotta watch it. I still have to see it.
I think you should. I think that like any live action is worth seeing. Like they have the new Lion King one that's coming out. Mufasa, I think it's called. Like it's what focuses on his story. It's a live action one.
Yeah, Lion King was my second favorite, so I gotta see it easily.
That one was. Did you see the live action of that one?
No.
That one was really good.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh my
Because
gosh.
they did all of them, didn't they? Like they've
done like a
redone
lot
all
of them. Yeah. Seth
Or maybe
Rogen.
I did see. Did they do Beauty and the Beast?
Yes, with Emma.
feel like I saw that.
Watson.
I think I saw it for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was really good. I really liked that one. I liked that they had Josh Gad as LeFou.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my favorite character. But in Lion King, they have Seth Rogen play Pumbaa. So imagine his laugh.
Yeah.
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 Like
I gotta watch it. It's like, perfect.
It was like I swear when I'm high, that's what I sound like. I laugh just like him. But that one's definitely worth the watch. The live action of that one is really, really good.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. I gotta watch all of them.
Yeah, you have to.
So we're gonna jump right in.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So you went through a rough time when you were 16, 17-ish. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yeah, so when 3 days after my 15th birthday, a very close like loved one of mine passed away. And then like less than a year later, my mom was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and it was putting pressure on her short-term like memory gland. So it was hard because she would forget things that just happened or was just said to her like in an instant. So it's always having the same kind of conversations over and over again. But also where that gland is like your temper. And so it kind of cut her temper short and kind of altered her mood. And she ended up having surgery in 2011 to have it removed. And that was kind of scary because I was 16 at that time. It was like right around my birthday. And there was always like a chance, right? Like that's someone that she can't come out. But she did, which was awesome. But it did permanently affect her. So with her mood swings and her short-term memory, it like never got better. And because of all of this that was happening with her brain, she ended up actually losing her job. Not because of that, it was like externally, but she ended up losing her job right around the same time she was supposed to have surgery. So she doesn't have a job. She's unable to work. She doesn't have her disability put in yet. Um, it takes a long time to get permanent disability for somebody, like really long time. So I was 16 years old working at Smitty's as a server. Yeah.
Smitties.
Smitty's, the
We
good old days. And so I was going to school and then going straight to work. And I was working because they're not open late on weekdays. They're only open till like 9 p.m. So I was working like 5 to 9 almost every day after school to try to make as much money as I can to kind of like help with rent or with food or anything like that. And we actually ended up having to sell most of our things. We sold my gaming console. We sold our electric guitars. I didn't have a bed for a while. I ended up sleeping on a futon for like my senior year. And we were like at the point of like losing our apartment because we couldn't pay rent and we couldn't like find the money. And so like we were getting notices and stuff. And that was incredibly just a rough time at home and trying to take care of her. My grandmother moved in for a little bit with us too. So there was like kind of 2 to 3 of us at a time trying to take care of each other, but like no finances coming in except for what I could bring in. And then meanwhile at school, I was getting bullied like relentlessly and it got really bad actually. There was this one point where these girls had invited me to a party and I knew that they didn't like me. I didn't know why they invited me and I was going to go, but then like last minute I decided I wasn't going to. Something didn't feel right. And I had found out the following Monday that I was invited because these 2 girls asked this girl to invite me because they had purchased roofies and their intention was that they were going to roofie me at this party, take off my clothes, and then take pictures of me and like send them around the school to show everyone how big of like a slut I am. And so of course I'm like, this is crazy. Like this isn't this no. I went and confronted one of them and she was like, well, yeah, but like we didn't end up doing it. And I was like, because I didn't go. And I'm like, so, and to fully admit that they bought the roofies, everything, like actually admitted everything to me. And I'm like, that's actually crazy. So like the bullying I experienced was like, I feel like more than what most people go through. And so because of that, I definitely turned to a lot of alcohol and drugs to kind of numb everything, losing someone very close to me, almost losing my mother, and then also like her losing her job, not having that financial income, not having a safe space in the school either. I started hanging out with people. I don't even know how I found them, but people who were like in their 20s when I was like 16 years old. And, there were people doing like cocaine and heroin in the basements and I was like getting drunk and high on like I wasn't doing cocaine and heroin though. I should clarify that. No, no cocaine and heroin. But like I was doing some like lesser drugs and like drinking on like Tuesdays. And then, in the morning I'd wake up and I would smoke a bowl to feel better, go home. And then because I had so much anxiety to go to school and then I had all this in my system, I was like, I'm not going to go to school. So I ended up skipping like most of my grade 11 year. And then going into my senior year, I was told by my principal that I most likely wasn't going to graduate. I was so far behind. I had such low credits that like I was not going to graduate. And I don't know what it was about that, but that kind of like shook me and it just rocked me out of place. So I did 20 at home, like single module courses to pick up 20 credits.
Oh my God.
It was insane. So like when I wasn't working and when I wasn't at school, I was at home still doing school to pick up on these credits. And then I was really lucky. I had an English teacher who saw the potential in me and she saw that I wasn't a bad kid, that I just needed guidance and some help. And she told me that if I came into her 30-1, is that what they're called? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Grade
think so.
12, 30-1. Because that's like the highest one, right?
I think so.
Yeah, moving from Ontario, it kind of gets like
It
mixed.
changes in all the
Every
provinces. It's
province is
so
different.
weird. Yeah,
Every
yeah,
province is different.
yeah.
Some people like one province AP is highest, and I
Mm,
think in our province AP is the lowest, and they use the same initials.
weird.
So I always get mixed up. But it was grade 12 English, and she said if I could graduate with an 80% overall average, then she would give me my retro credits for grade 11 that I didn't get because I failed that class. So of course I put my like mind to it, and then I actually ended up graduating with a 97% overall average after the diploma, So I got my grade 12 credits and my grade 11 credits for my English. And it was a great moment for me because it was something like realizing like I have the potential. I am smart. I can do these things. I can put my mind to it. I just was in a gutter and felt like I couldn't get out for whatever reason. And I think it just hitting rock bottom to be able to come up from that. But yeah, that was like probably the roughest. That was like 2 years. Yeah, a year and a half to 2 years of my life.
Wow. And when you're 16 or 17, around there, like you're already going through so much that when you're going through, so how did it affect you emotionally? Like
Oh
going through
man.
all of that.
So I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. I don't know if it's like any kind of surprise to that, but it actually, I think the anxiety like definitely still hits me today. Like I have a hard time trusting people, especially after what happened with those girls at that party. After having people like text me, or because this is like, this is when Instagram just started and Facebook was still kind of a thing, right? And so I was getting messages from random accounts saying I should go kill myself and like I'm ugly. And I used to have these really messed up teeth because I knocked out my teeth when I was like 15 years old in a weird accident. And so my parents couldn't afford fake teeth. So they just took my old teeth and put them back in. And so they shifted, they turned gray and yellow. So my whole front teeth, they're all like fake because when I turned 20, I was able to afford to, after working lots of serving jobs, I was able to afford to get new teeth so that I could feel confident smiling. But yeah, people were saying, like, if a guy did want to date me, someone would be like, well, you want to kiss that mouth? Yeah, it was like, and so those things like always kind of stuck with me. So even as an adult now, like I definitely second guess, I think, my relationships because I always am like, what's your intention? What's, you know, like it's, I feel like on a surface level, I'm always there and I'm always open, but like to get deeper, I'm always a little bit scared because the few times that I have, like, I have been burned. So yeah, the anxiety, I think, like, and I've been struggling with anxiety since I was like 14, 15. So just, I've kind of learned to cope with it now. I've gotten better with it, but for a long time, I shut a lot of people out because of it. And the anxiety attacks have gone less. But yeah, like when I was in high school, that's why I didn't go to school for a lot of times. That's why I was skipping constantly because I had so much anxiety just being around these people, walking in the halls, because I felt like people were just looking at me. Sometimes I still feel like that. Like I'll just be in the mall and I'm like, people are looking at me.
Yeah.
But then you have to tell yourself that people aren't.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and you spent a lot of times around what you were like in the basement with these people that were doing drugs and whatever else,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So you're surrounded
S-
by other people who are in a hole too. And that was probably one of the hardest things was cutting out those people, my friends, because, you know, hurt people look for other hurt people. Um, it's easier to stay in that hole with others and to climb out is very hard. So when I had to cut them out of my life, it was like I literally just stopped talking to them. I stopped replying to text messages or phone calls, um, just to kind of get myself out of there. But it was really sad because I remember this one guy, I hadn't seen him like a couple months, and then he all of a sudden just showed up again, like on this couch, and he'd been doing heroin, and his cheeks were just sunken in, and he was like just a ghost of who he was, even just months prior, and that scared me, and that was kind of the point of me leaving drugs was because of him, because that I was like, it just ruined him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could like physically see his life like drained from him.
Like that's so, yeah. Once you see that and you're just like, I don't want that to happen, you
No,
know?
I didn't want to end up like him. And again, like
Yeah.
I'm 16 years old. I'm looking at these kids, not kids, the kind of kids, like they're 22, 23 years old. Like I didn't want to be like that in like 5, 6 years.
Yeah. Wow. That's a
Yeah.
lot. So cause I feel like that's a lot to go through when you're what, 16, 17, you're going through high school, you're now being bullied. These girls, that's insanity
It
that they
was,
would like who I feel like you're saying, I feel like you can be bullied to a point, but doing something like that is crazy.
it was crazy. I
Like,
literally, like, I didn't even believe it myself until I
yeah.
confronted them. And then, like, the one girl literally was like, she full on was like, well, we didn't end up doing it. And I'm like, you bought the drugs though.
You're like, you didn't do it because I
Yeah.
didn't go.
'Cause I didn't go. I ran into her like 2-3 years after I graduated, and she was with somebody who was a friend of mine, and I got very upset. I was like, why would you bring her here? You know what she would try to do. She literally told me, she was like, Elizabeth, that was in high school. Build a bridge. And I looked at her and I was like, you tried to drug me.
To take naked pictures of me. What the fuck?
Like, I was just, and so it was crazy because the same conversation happened again, like 3 years later. And I still like, it almost like didn't, like, I'm like, is this life? Like, I couldn't fathom that this was happening, that this actually was like a thing. Like, I'm lucky that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, so lucky it didn't happen. I'm so lucky that something in my gut told me to stay home that night and not to go to this party. It was the first clue was this the girl who invited me, I knew didn't like me because she was one of the bulliers. So like that was like the very first clue, but like I had no idea that was the intention. Like my sister got bullied really badly too. At one point, she was invited to a sleepover. This is probably why I didn't go, because this was a couple years earlier. She got invited to a sleepover and these girls cut all her hair off in her sleep. Yeah, she had the hair like this short on her. Yeah, like her hair was down to here, just pieces like this all around, just cut her hair off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would literally cry if someone did that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so awful.
And it took like over a year for it all to grow back. And she was in a tragic accident when she was a baby where the top of her scalp was affected by a candle, like the candle wax. So she had this like bald spot on her head that she couldn't get surgery on until she was a teenager. And so she used her hair to like shield that. And these girls cut all it off.
People are actually awful.
Yeah.
That's
like,
so sad.
yeah. Like there's some like,
Aw.
just some like kids can be ruthless sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get bullied when you were like in school and stuff? Like,
Yeah.
like in classes and whatnot?
Less here in Alberta. That was more actually, I think, in Ottawa. People in Ottawa were a lot more like forward with their bullying. In Alberta, it was a lot more like cyberbullying, I felt, and like behind your back and like at the parties and
At
stuff.
parties and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the hallways, they kind of just like whisper and glare, but like nothing was ever like you were still, at least for me, at least I was like, I felt like I was physically safe. But yeah, no, in Ottawa, like I had someone like just full on take a yogurt and just pour it on my head. Yeah.
That's like stuff you see in movies.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. I
Like,
know. Like if we played dodgeball in gym class, like I got picked on, like that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. That was that. I made the mistake of saying, one girl asked me if I thought any boys were cute. And I said, oh, like this one guy is pretty cute. And she was like, oh, apparently he had a girlfriend. She goes and tells the girlfriend. Girlfriend gets all of her 8 close friends to gang up on me. And that's how, and I'm like the slut because I said this guy was cute. And I had no idea. And it was like day 3 of me being in this new school. And so, yeah.
You're like, I feel so welcome here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
I lasted 5 months.
Oh my God.
I lasted 5 months in Ottawa. Yeah. And then I moved to Alberta. And then it was, I don't know what happened. I showed up and I think I was just different. Like people in Ottawa dress a lot like, I don't want to say nicer, but like they don't wear sweatpants and hoodies. Maybe now, like when I was in high school though, they wore like high heel boots, jeans, like they dressed up like for school. Coming to Alberta, everyone's in like Uggs and at that point the Lululemon, like the
Yeah.
flared leggings, like that kind of stuff, and like the oversized hoodies. And people weren't coming to school with full faces of makeup and their hair done, but like I was, and I was always put together. And I don't know if like that's why I kind of
Maybe you stood out a little bit.
I think so.
People were like, she's different. And
Maybe.
of course, if you're a little bit different in high school, they're like, Target.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, yeah.
And
like,
being in like in a smaller town is because it's
Oh.
a small town too. Like all these people, like there's 200 people in my graduating class, but all these 200 people, they grew up their entire lives together. They all know each other. And I'm coming in like grade 11. It was hard.
if I'm being honest, I remember the new girls or the new people in general in high school. And there's always that little bit of like, who the fuck are you?
Mhm.
Because and then I don't even know what it is. Like, it's not even like we would bully them or whatever. Maybe some people did, but it's like this, like, you're different. You're not from here,
You're not, yeah.
And it's like when you've grown up with the same people, even going to high school, it's like we had 3 different, like primary schools or whatever that went to the same high school. after grade 9, it's like, everyone. Like,
Yes.
if someone's new, you're like, who are they?
Yeah.
Like you definitely stand out. So it's not an easy time to be moving around anyways.
No, and I've actually talked about this in the past, but I think why I wasn't prepared for all this was because my parents were in the military. So I was raised up on military bases in private military schools where kids come and go every like because someone might only be there for a couple months, you welcome them in open arms. And when you go to a new place, it's up to you to be like, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I like this, this, and this. Who wants to be my friend? Like, so of course, when my parents retired from the military and then I went to my first public school, maybe that's why, I'm like, maybe that's why I wasn't received very well because I'm like, I was open and I was trusting and that wasn't maybe what my game plan should have
Everyone
been.
else is like, holy shit.
They're like, who is this? Yeah, who is this girl? She's scary. Like, yeah. And I think I still have that. Like, I think I almost have like word vomit. Even as an adult, I try to calm myself down because I'm very much like, here's me, because that's how I grew up. We moved around so much. Like
That's
in 1 year, I moved 3 different provinces.
that's kind of how you have to like, I mean, being an adult, that's how you have to do it now.
Yeah,
Like you have to, I feel like you could probably make friends really easily
I
just
do.
because you're like that,
Yeah, like like
Whereas
now that I'm the age that I am, I even moving here to Calgary, it's been so easy just like talking to someone off the street and then like I made a friend at World Gym the other day and we're gonna hang out and go for a lift next week.
see?
Yeah.
It's like it works, but it didn't work back then,
No.
you know?
No, kids didn't like it.
Yeah.
No. But
So okay, so with everything that you went through when you were 16 and 17
mhm.
and all of it, how did that shape you now, aside from you being really forward and making friends?
Yeah. Like I'm a lot more independent. I think I was already independent as a child, but I think that a lot of those situations that put me into a place of having to be even more independent. Like I moved out when I was 18. Like as soon as I graduated from high school, I relieved my mom. I got out of the house and I moved out and I got my own job. I bought my first car, paid for my own teeth, like all that kind of stuff. And even at 29 now I'm very comfortable with just being by myself and doing my own thing. And I mean, moved to the city kind of on my own and
A lot
yeah,
of people can't say that,
no.
you know? So it's as much as it's awful that you went through all of that, like it really probably did shape you
I
in that
think
sense,
I think it built my personality too. I find I would like to look at myself that I'm not a judgmental person. Most of my friends can come to me about anything. I had one friend who stole, and my first question was, "Why did you do that? Are you okay?" Not I wasn't passing judgment on her. Like I think that because I got judged I don't know why, like it just because I got judged so harshly, and I think I still do sometimes. That's you'll never find judgment from me. I'm always just gonna be there as like a supporting hand in anything than ever look at you in any negative light.
I love that. That's cool. I feel like I also feel like a lot of people that travel and that move around a lot don't have a lot of judgment because they're like, I've seen so many different people in different stages of their life doing different
Yes.
things.
So many different ways of life too.
Yeah, like different
Yeah.
cultures,
Different
different.
cultures.
So it's like almost don't have a chance to judge someone because you're like, well, what if they're doing it for this reason or this reason? Whereas someone that's in a small town that only sees someone doing something for a certain reason, they're like, why the fuck would you do it any different?
That's actually such a good point. That's such a great way to look at it. 100%.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right.
actually a really great way to look at it. Yeah.
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 So
I don't even know what to say. I'm like, revelation.
you're like, I'm speechless.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think,
Podcast over.
yeah, at least nailed it. Yeah, no, I think that's because I look at my sister and she's like kind of similar. You don't ever want to judge someone for like their way of life. I think that and the way that they handle a situation. I think I always like to, even people who frustrate me and who I might just want to like put their head through a wall kind of thing. I still like look at them and I have empathy because I might be like, you know what, they're this age. Maybe they can't handle their emotions. They've never gone through this before. They haven't developed themselves like fully. I usually will always be like, you know what, should I have acted in that way? Absolutely not. But also, I can see why and how they came to the conclusion of reacting the way that they did.
Yeah.
And but then that's on them to better themselves, to also be able to have that self reflection, to look at themselves and say, this isn't okay. I need to be better.
Well, yeah, and you can only not like not that you even have to judge someone, but you can only not react or not get upset at someone so much before you're like, okay, well, I've told you that you've done this so many times, and it's either you need to control your emotions or you need to not react that way or whatever.
Or we need to cut them off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Then they
Yeah.
can't have access to our lives if they're
And
going to keep
that's
doing
not
it.
judgment. That's
No.
more like, dude, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, it is.
fucking-
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think judgment is like I think it's quick judgment, right? Like someone making an opinion about somebody without knowing them or knowing their situation.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah. Used to it.
Okay, we're gonna change topics now
'Kay.
because we talked about birth control
Yes.
and you got off birth control recently.
Recently, yeah, I've been off of it for 2 months now. So I've just had my second cycle actually end yesterday. It was not fun. I don't recommend it.
I was gonna say congrats, but like not
Thanks.
really
Yeah,
congrats.
like congratulations. I mean, it's great. It's great to go off birth control and then to get your period and to be so regular because I did get it like after I went off birth control, I got it 4 weeks later and I had it for 4 days. And then I just had it 4 weeks later and had it for 4 days. So I'm pretty regular despite being on birth control for the last 14 years.
14. So wait, when you got off of it, you had your period right away.
Like 4 weeks later. I got 4
Okay.
weeks. I got 4 weeks later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you had it for 4 days and then because when I got off of it, it was crazy. I didn't have my period for like years. I think it was like 2 years.
Really?
Straight up. Yeah.
And what were you
And
on?
I don't even know what I was on. I was on one kind and then they completely switched it. And that's why I went off because they switched it on me and my mood completely changed. I thought I was like bipolar or something. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I
Mhm.
need to get off of this. I got off and I got crazy acne for 3 months and then didn't get my period for like 2 years. And finally it's regular.
Oh my.
Like,
Well,
yeah.
congratulations.
Yay. Thanks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I had that with the oral contraceptive. They ran out of my normal kind and they're like, this is similar. Can we just put you on this for the next 3 months? And after the 1 month of me, I was like, I went back to them. I was like, I throw this in the garbage. Give me back my old stuff. Because even just switching the oral messed me up completely at that time. Yeah, I
Yeah.
broke out crazy. I had terrible mood swings. I just felt like crap the whole time.
You know what I just found out?
What's that?
Is that when you are on birth control, your period isn't actually your period.
Yes,
What the
I think we might have talked
fuck?
about
We
this.
did talk about
Yeah,
that?
I think I told you that maybe.
That is what?
Yeah, it's like
So-
yeah. Someone was explaining to me that it's like a synthetic, like you're still having your period, you're still shedding and everything, but it's like a synthetic period because your body's not regulating it. Is what I was told. So it's like not a real period, and I'm like. So I've just been getting lied to because I mean, certain birth controls take away your period completely, but I was on the oral that allowed me to still have my period. It was like just the 3 week, like this 21-day one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even
See,
that is
that's
still
what I was
synthetic.
on. Yeah. The 21-day, whatever. And then and if you miss one pill,
You're hooped.
it's awful.
Yeah, you're hooped.
I'm like, I
So
would
then you have
miss
to take
one
two
and
the
I'm
next
like,
day.
oh, got my period. What is
Yeah,
happening?
yeah, because if you miss 1 or 2, then all of a sudden you get your period in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Because it's a synthetic period. Because it's because you're not taking it, so then it tells your body that you need it.
That's so confusing
Mm-hmm.
and so not cool. So how long have you been off it now?
2 months.
2 months.
2 months. So I've been, and
And-
it's been great other than the period, like first day of the periods themselves, actually.
You don't even have acne or anything.
No, I have like a little, just a minor one from
Lucky, though.
from this period, but for the last couple of weeks without me being on my period, the clearest skin I've actually ever had. Like
Wow.
as long as I've ever been on birth control, I've never had this clear skin. Which kind of makes me think like, what was I pumping my body full of that and my anxiety has been less,
Really?
especially for starting a new job, moving to a new city, making new friends and everything. My anxiety has never been this low. And I mean, I've been on birth control since like 14, 15. So I just always assumed that like it was me, but maybe it was the birth control also because I'm feeling great. I'm not having any worries or anxiety about anything. I'm not overthinking things like I used to.
Are you moody? Like,
Not
were you moody
really.
on birth
On birth
control?
control, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not moody now. I feel like I'm very calm, very collected. I
You're
don't
like, I'm basically a better person.
I'm a better person
Like,
on birth control. Elizabeth 2.0.
yeah.
My brain works now. It's been
That's
weird because, and I mean, I've tried like everything. I was on Depot shot when I was 16. Don't ever do that. Don't ever
what
do
is
that.
that? Can you explain that?
They injected me in, I think it was my butt. I was 16. I was pretty skinny, and they had to find like the more fattiest place on your body. So, but I've heard of people getting it in their arms, but I think I got mine in my butt. And I can't even tell you what it is exactly, other than it's a form of birth control. It stays in your system for up to a year, and there's no way to have it removed. So once you've been injected with it, it's in your system for a year. And I would have my period every single day for 3 months straight. And then I wouldn't have it for 3 months. And then I would have it every single day for 3 months straight. And then it just messed up my body so much. Terrible acne. That was when my anxiety and depression really kind of started. So again, I don't know if it's correlated, but like it was
But
just
like a 3-month period would have me pretty depressed. I would be like, oh my God. Even
I was
after a
dying.
week, I'm like, how this is awful. Like,
Yes, I only got 4 days now. I'm like 4 days. All
lucky.
like except for day one, I'm in so much pain that I'm throwing up. So
Oh,
so that's why I went birth control in the first place. In the first place was because I was having these violent cramps and like pain in my back and the throwing up, and it's back now. So the last two times I've now had my period. That's the only downside is that the first day I'm immobile and I'm crying, I'm throwing up. Like this was on Monday, Tuesday, Monday. It was Monday this week that I was like that. Thankfully, I didn't work.
I'm telling you, you gotta get these CBD things.
I know. Yeah. You start sticking things up in different places. It did
No,
help when
that's
I
so
took an
bad.
edible. It like once I'd had the edible, it was fine. But yeah, I want to try that.
That's so bad. I knew girls in high school that would start throwing up because it was so much pain.
I feel like I might need to go to my doctor maybe. I should laugh about that. I should really probably go to my doctor and like just see because I've heard there's a science like PCOS and like all these other things, and
Yeah,
you never know.
yeah.
Hmm.
But just thrive with the 4-day periods
But
for
yeah, but the
now.
4 day
Like,
period's awesome.
yeah.
Acne's gone. So I mean, otherwise, like like, can I deal with 1 day of pain
Did you
for like
ever do
everything
the
else?
patches?
No,
No.
actually, no.
Okay.
I haven't done that.
I haven't done them either.
I don't know anyone who has
I
done them, to be honest.
I had one friend in high school that did them. She didn't really say anything about them. I never
No,
really heard about it, but she always had to wear them on her arm or something like that.
I had the IUD
Oh,
for a
fuck.
week,
Really?
and then I begged them to take it out of me because I was in so much pain. I was like, it felt like this scraping, burning pain. And I know a lot of people have like so much, like the best results with it. People who keep them in for 5 to 8 years. I lasted a week. I needed it out.
I feel like it's mixed.
Yeah.
Like there's some people that they're like they swear by it. They're like it's so easy, it's so simple. And there's some people that are like this is the most terrifying thing, like get it out of me. Like it hurts. They put it in wrong. Some people lose
Lose it?
them. It's
Yeah.
fucking terrifying.
Yeah,
Like
people like,
how
no, I'm like, I would be concerned. Like, where did it go? Where did it go?
could you imagine a doctor going up there and then being like, "Oh yeah, I don't know, it's gone." What do you what?
Like, I'm sure it didn't fall out. I think I
Mm,
would have noticed that.
can you look for it, please? Like get it out of me. Like where the fuck would it have gone? You know?
Like,
No,
your
crazy.
body just like absorbs it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's actually still, it's just all the way up there. Like, they should do an x ray because it's like copper and metal, isn't it? Like, they
Yeah.
should be able to do an x ray to find it.
You lose it? Yeah. So yours was what, painful for like 7 days or something?
It was, yeah, I like thought it would get easier and it just like didn't. So, like, I just had
Really?
them removed because it
Yeah.
was like, I had them remove it because it was like,
Do you have to pay for them?
My insurance covered most of
Oh,
it
cool.
because they are
Yeah.
expensive. And that's
Yeah.
the thing is that like once, because if you get one and then you have it removed, if you want another one put back in, because it was like if you wanted it removed earlier than it needed to, because I've had someone explain this to me that because it happened to them that they took it out at the 3 year mark and not the 5 year mark. That because they didn't leave it in for those 2 years, their insurance company didn't cover them for a new one when they wanted one a year later or something like that.
Ugh, insurance
I feel like there's
sucks.
like there's different ones. I never looked into it because I literally had it for a week and I was like, get this the fuck out of me. And I'm like, and I never looked at it again. I was just like, I'm done. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, oh,
Well, it's terrifying because you get this thing in, and then all of a sudden, yeah, if you get pain or whatever, you're like, just get it out.
mm-hmm,
Because, like, you can't take it out yourself.
mm-mm.
Like, and at least with the pills, you can just stop taking them.
And that's what I did. I just
Yeah.
just stopped taking it.
Whereas, like, if you get a needle or whatever you got,
It's stuck in you for a
you're
year.
like, oh, well, now I just have 3-month
3 month
periods for like,
periods.
so you had that for a year?
I had that for a year. Yeah. And that was when I was a teenager and I thought I was dying. And yeah, it was my doctor at the time was like, oh, because I think they were like, it was new at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the year. That would have been like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't know. I think there's a lot of doctors that don't even offer it now because it's that bad.
You're like, great. Why did I do that?
I know. I'm like, well, I wonder what kind of effects that had on my body. Who knows?
That's funny.
Ugh. Yeah, birth control is a whole thing. And then like it's funny because we talk about all these things that we have to go through with birth control and then men, the male birth control.
Oh, yeah.
And like how they can't like it's like they end up getting the mood swings and the acne and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, take me off of it. I don't want to be on it.
Yeah. So for anyone listening that never heard about this, they tried this male birth control. Apparently, this is what I've heard.
Yeah, it was like a trial run kind of thing.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
trial. And the men got acne, moody, basically
Bloating.
everything that we get when
Exactly.
we're on fucking birth control.
Hmm.
And they couldn't handle it. So they were like, let the women take it, which makes no sense.
Yeah, because I don't think that they ended up releasing it, right? Like I don't think it's on the market.
No, I don't
Because
know.
I think it's because none of the guys could go through with the trial. Like none of them made it to the end,
Yeah.
is what I think I heard. Yeah, because they couldn't handle the side effects.
Pussies.
Oh my Jesus.
And who, I don't know, was it me and you talking the last time? Someone was like, a guy can go around and get like 9 women pregnant in a day, but we can only get pregnant once. So, like, why the fuck are we the ones on birth
I was
control?
like, we didn't talk about that, but I have heard that like philosophy behind it, and
Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree because yeah, we can only get pregnant like once in that
Like,
nine
once we're
months.
pregnant, we're
We're
pregnant.
pregnant for like that 9 months, and then
Yeah.
like, but for men, yeah, like they could just every day for 9 months. I don't know how many babies. I can't do that math.
They could literally every single, what is
There's
9 months?
was 30 times 9.
Um,
That's
yeah, there's no way I'm figuring that out. Basically, a lot of fucking babies
a lot of
in
babies.
9 months.
That's a lot of babies. Because you could get a woman
Yeah.
pregnant every single day. You could get multiple women pregnant every day if you wanted, technically.
They could literally get like 5 girls pregnant in one day if
Yeah.
they really wanted to.
Yeah.
If it was like their mission,
Yeah.
which is like what, 5 times 9 times 30. Someone will do the math eventually.
Yes.
Comment it on the
Oh,
fucking
it's gonna be in the
podcast.
comments. Someone's actually gonna have the calculator with them on their phone, right?
Yeah. James is kidding.
9 times 30 equals.
Yeah. That's a lot of fucking pregnant
I'm a
women.
hairstylist. I don't need to know math. Like, I wasn't trained for that. I have a phone.
That's so funny. So we're gonna switch. You just got implants.
I did.
And
The twins in January, Giselle and Genevieve.
Oh,
I know. I went French.
I love that. I think I named mine, but I forget what they're called. Like,
Mary Kate and Ashley.
sorry, girls.
They'll name me later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I named them before I even got them. I'm like, this is what I'm going to name them.
I love that.
I was looking forward to getting my boobs done for so long. Like, I think I knew when I was 13, 14, that I wanted boobs because I had 2 sisters, both blessed with well-endowed bosoms. And I remember looking at them and I'm like, I don't think they're coming. I missed the train. So, especially when my little sister started, like, her boobs started getting bigger than mine, I was like, I really missed the train. And then once I graduated high school, I was like, they're not coming. And I was like an A, double A. Like, I was actually concaving in. So we went in and first shout out to Dr. Paul Whidden. Love my boobs.
I'll tag him.
Yeah. It was so great. It was great from like the beginning to the end with the experience. When I went in, I initially had put on, so like for reference, I'm 5'7". I'm sitting at 142 right now. I think I was about like 140, 145 when I went in for my consultation. And I immediately started off with 450 cc's to start with. And I would have been a a 32 double D. Yeah. Yeah, 32 double D if I had chosen
Wait,
those.
how many cc's?
450.
450. Yeah.
Yeah, just with like because we're a similar height and build, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what he was like, kind of like giving me an estimate on when I was like trying on bras and stuff. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, these look really large. In hindsight, I
Wait,
think
did you do the whole like put the bra on and then
yeah,
put the
and
gel?
then put the
Oh
t-shirt
my
on and
God.
everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, which was cool. I loved that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because like it was like the maternity bra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
And
you
you
put the
just
bags
shoved
in
that.
there.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, wow.
I have a video of me and my friend just like flailing them around. Like,
Yeah. But I wish I maybe would have started. I wish I would have tried the 450s, and then tried because I now have 360s. So I went with the one size lower because the 450s felt so big. But I think it's because I went from an nothing to trying those on that they felt enormous. So putting on the 350 still felt a little bit big, but I was like, this looks a little bit more moderate for my body, which is technically the volume size that I got because there's the ultra low, low, moderate, high, and then highest
think.
volume. There's 5 levels.
Yeah.
I got level 3
Okay.
for my body because then he
Yeah.
measures you, right? So he measured my chest cavity and he was like,
Yeah.
for your height, your body, this 360 is your moderate level. So that's what I end up going with. And I love them. I think maybe in the future I might go one size up. Maybe. Who knows? The nice thing about this size though is that I can be modest and I can cover them up, but also I can push them up and kind of like play, like have them out to play. It's been nice having girlies, especially I feel like as a gym girly, like you probably get it, right? Like when you start to put on that muscle, especially in your shoulders and like in other parts of your upper body, like it's nice to have something that makes you feel
Feminine
feminine
and
and
girly and
yeah.
yeah, totally. I agree though. I wish I went bigger. Not
Yeah.
that I'm saying I just think that when I went to my doctor was very, and that was the reason I went to him, was he was very much like, okay, we're gonna match it to your body type and like what you already are. And it was good, which
Mhm.
was great. I was very happy.
Yeah.
But when I did put the bigger ones on, they basically said that, okay, well, if you get anything bigger, it's just gonna come out the sides more. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want that, obviously.
Mhm.
So I liked the bigger, but then they kind of convinced me out of it. And I was like, oh, shit, I should have
Uh,
got. But I would totally get my boobs done every 10 years. So then I can just go bigger, smaller, bigger, whatever
you
I
can kind
want,
of choose it what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't it great?
To be
Like,
able to like kind of
just,
choose and go,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like having both and not being like, I mean, I love it when they're always out to play, but it
Yeah,
is nice to be able to like cover up but not
it
cover it. You
is.
know, it's nice to have both.
And because I've only had them for, I think it's been like 8, 9 months now. Like I'm still, they're just like fully, I feel like healing now. And like they're moving and they're squishy and like
Because they take a while
to,
to go to, because
yeah.
they're like way up here at first, and you're like,
Yes.
holy shit! Like,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They were like at my collarbone, like they were this high and they was like squared out because mine are under my pec muscle or
yeah,
yours. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So my chest muscle was like just squared out and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, at first I was kind of like, what did I do? But I was also like, trust the process, trust the process. Like I can be patient. I mean, I was lucky because I mean, I talked myself down in the size, so I did that to myself. But I think that going with something in the size, it kind of is like, we'll have this for the next while, and then if and when if I want to go bigger, then I can.
Oh yeah,
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 yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so how was your recovery?
It was great.
Because I know there's a lot of actually girls that follow me that are like, I want to get my boobs done, but they're like either scared or they're waiting or they're whatever.
Yeah.
Tell them about the recovery.
I mean, everyone's recovery is so different. I've heard terror stories also of people's recoveries. I followed my instructions to a T before I went in for my surgery. So like I was told to cut out coffee, green tea, protein shakes. Like I was told to cut out a lot of things. And when I went in, I was so relaxed. Like it kind of just felt like another day in the office. So like, I was just so excited. So they gave me the few pills that they give you before you go in for your surgery. I don't know if it's like an antibacteria, maybe
I don't think we got
No,
those.
I got like
I
three.
feel like we have different experiences.
Interesting. Okay, so I got
Hmm.
3 medications before I went in. I think one of them was like when you have an infection, what do you take?
Oh,
An
antibiotics or
antibiotic.
something?
I think one
Yeah.
was an I think one was an
Okay.
antibiotic, and I think one was something else. But they put me into this heated robe with like furry slippers, and then they put me into like this recliner chair, and I fell asleep waiting for the surgeon to come get me.
I love that.
So I woke up, or I guess not the surgeon, the nurse. So I woke up to, "Hi, Elizabeth. Are you ready to go in?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." So I like stood up, walking down the hallway. There was like a couple nurses. They were like, "Have fun, like good luck." Like it was like I'm like getting cheered as I'm going down like the hallway. I get into the room. They're like, "Hi, Elizabeth," and I'm like, "Hi." I lay down on the table. I think one woman asked me if I was from Saskatchewan, and I was like, "Yeah, I live in Saskatchewan for a little bit," and then out, gone. And then I feel like I woke up 2 seconds later. And then it's interesting because most people say that when they came out of their surgery, they felt like there was an elephant on their chest. And I didn't have that feeling actually. I felt like I had done a really good chest day. Like it
That
felt tight, but it didn't feel heavy and it didn't hurt. I mean, I also have had previous surgeries before. I had my gallbladder removed in 2021, I think. So, no, 2022. It was 2022 I got it removed. So, I've had surgery before, so maybe that was why I was used to waking up from the anesthesia. I knew what that was going to feel like, but it didn't hurt. If anything, actually, every time the nurse would leave, I was trying to like look down at them, and then I was like touching them, and she came back in. I was like, and then she'd leave, and then I'd go back to like touching them, and then she'd come back in. I'm like, I'm in trouble for touching my own boobs.
that's so funny.
Yeah, and then my girlfriends, they were taking care of me, so they came and picked me up. They wheeled me up to the car. They got in, and I was like, I need McDonald's. Like, I just wanted food. I was starving, like right after
What
surgery.
did you have like painkillers or something that they gave you after?
Yes, yes,
I think
and
it was like Oxy or something. Like it was so
I had
intense.
Tramadol.
Really?
Yeah, which makes you super nauseous. So, they did give me the like Gravol, like their version of Gravol to like counteract that, which is a good thing that they did because I only took the pain medication for like a day though.
See, I think I was out for like 3 days. Like
Yeah,
just yeah.
with the pain medication too.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my
I was
gosh,
not hungry.
I was starving.
Like, I feel like that was the last thing. But before we went in, I don't think we had the same because I went with my best friend at the
Yeah.
time to get our boobs done together.
Oh, you guys have them
Great
together?
experience. Yeah, it was great. We were in the rooms together. Like it was so good. We were like right after the other. Like it was so good. But we didn't have like the don't drink coffee and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing. Like, I have actually had people who told me the same thing that they weren't told that, and then they ended up having like not complications, but just like a rougher healing experience, like that they were in pain for a week, or I was back to lifting my arms above my head within a week and a half.
See, were you at the gym during this time? Like were you training and stuff? Not during but like before?
Before, yes. So I
Okay.
had been training for 2 years before I got my boobs done. Yeah, because I just celebrated my 3 years in July this year. So 2.5 years I'd been training before I went in.
I wonder if
That could
that
have
actually
effect.
helped.
But I like my coach actually, she had the worst, and she's been training for like 10 years, and she only got them done, I think, like 5 years ago. She had the worst healing experience I've ever heard from anybody. Like she couldn't raise her arms above her head for like 4 weeks, like just insane amounts of pain. Like everyone I think is just so different.
I agree.
I think I
Yeah.
don't maybe it was because I was so relaxed. Like maybe it's because I walked into my surgery. I literally woke up and walked into my
Like I
surgery.
meditated through the whole fucking thing. Just
Literally, like
floated through.
I had like, well, and it's funny because I asked my surgeon, I was like, because he was drawing on me, and I was like, are people usually nervous at this point? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, can you tell? And he's like, oh, I can always tell who's nervous. I'm like, why? And he's like, the women who are nervous, they're sitting in that chair. And he pointed to like a tiny little metal chair. And they'd be sitting there with like their hands in their legs and everything. And they're like just nervous. And he's like, the girls who are less nervous, they're sitting in the recliner where like we found you. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, you're the first person to be asleep in the chair though. And I'm like, just another day, I guess. I was just like, I'm game of it's done.
You're like, I'm just excited.
I'm at
Just
Disney World
chilling.
right now.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a really good experience. Like
Yeah.
I feel like when you're like I literally have said since the day I walked out, I was like, I can't wait to go back. Because it's just like, you're right. The nurses are so nice.
Yeah.
Doctors are so nice. Like it was just such a, you want to be there,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Yeah, like, they were, like, talking to you and chatting with you. Okay, but, like, I was so scared going into my surgery for only one reason, and that was, like, what if I'm pregnant? Because I had a client, also on birth control, who went to go get her boobs done, and the day of, they make you take a pregnancy test, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so she took the pregnancy test. They come back in the room, and they're like, "We're sorry, we're not doing the surgery on you today. You're pregnant." And so she didn't get her boobs done, and she went home, like, finding out that she was gonna be having a baby,
That would be the worst way to find out that you're pregnant.
right? I
Yeah.
literally was like, "I cannot be pregnant. I cannot." Like, I'm on birth control, I'm doing all the right things, but there was just, like, because and that I've heard that from 3 different people. Like, before I got my boobs, that there was 3 people that had happened to, and I'm like, "I cannot be pregnant." So that was the only thing. I was, like, so nervous. So I told the lady who's taking my urine sample, I'm, like, telling her the story, and she comes back in, and I'm, like, looking at her, and she's, like, not really telling me, and I'm like, am I getting the surgery? She's like, oh yeah, you're fine. And I'm like, okay, like, maybe let's start with that. Cause I'm
You're like,
like,
don't just stress me. It's like
I
when
was so
doctors call
scared.
you and they just like, oh, hi, how are you? You're like, what are my fucking test results? Just tell me.
I,
Like, now.
I had someone one time accidentally give me my results without, like, but they thought that I already knew the results of something. Yeah. Yeah. So I actually have a benign tumor in my left breast. This was before I got my surgery done. They said that I could get my surgery because it's benign. But he called me and he was like, and it wasn't my doctor, it was another doctor because my doctor was on vacation. And he mentioned this lump in my breast. And I'm like, I have a lump in my breast. And like, they didn't. And like, my mom has also had breast cancer. So like, that was the whole reason why I went in to get checked in the first place. I was losing, for a good like minute, I was losing my mind. And then he was like, this is Elizabeth Ben, right? I'm like, yes. And he's like, you just had like a mammogram. And I'm like, yes. And he was like, what was your reason for going in? And I was like, well, because I wanted to pre-look because of my mom's history and because I'm getting my breast done. And he was like, oh, he thought that I was already aware of my lump. And that was the reason why I went in for my mammogram. And he's like, well, it's benign. It's benign. Your lump is benign. But I didn't even know I had a lump to begin with.
You're like, holy shit, you guys.
Yeah, I was
Like,
like, wait, like,
communication.
yeah, seriously, seriously. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
and I'm at work at the salon, of course, right? So I come out to my client, I'm like,
You come out crying. Like,
I literally was like, I
what's
just got traumatized.
You're sweating. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I was like traumatized because yeah, in 2020, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, so I was like,
Oh my god.
so I'm like, here I am. I knew it. I knew it was coming. Yeah,
That's so scary.
it was. Oh man, yeah, it's the doctors, but
Yeah.
but we're good, and I have Genevieve and Giselle now. They're here.
And you have boobs. Everyone's
have boobs.
happy.
Yes. Yeah, I'm very happy. Do you ever just like play with yours?
Do I play with them?
Yeah, just like
I definitely did when I
Yeah.
first got.
I still
do.
I was like, I'm like, it hasn't been a year yet, but I still play with them. Like, I'll just be like laying there and I'm just like,
No, I think it was the best money that I've ever spent. Like, if any
hands
girl
down.
ever asked me, I'm always like, just do it. Because if you're thinking about it, and I think anyone should do something that I think it makes you feel more confident. It feels
Absolutely.
more like yourself. Like, you just feel so much better after you do it. It's like, it's expensive, but it's so fucking worth it.
Especially if
Like,
it's something that you are insecure about, which I mean, I was like being that flat, and seeing like my chest and my bones sticking out, and not feeling feminine at all. It's like it's an investment into yourself. It's an investment into your confidence. Like, why not? That was, I mean, the first thing when I got my teeth fixed. That was why I didn't even second think about it, like have a second thought about it, was because if I was so happy getting my teeth done, then my boobs are going to do the same thing. And sure enough, like and it's because I did it for me. And I do believe that I don't think that anyone should ever get their boobs done for someone else. Because I've seen so many girls also get their boobs done and it was for their boyfriend or for whoever. And then they break up and they end up hating them and they don't want them. And then they have to pay to get them removed and stuff. So I truly believe it has to be like from your own want and like love for yourself.
yeah. Like, if you've always wanted boobs, you should just get
Just do
boobs.
it.
Yeah. Just do it.
Just do it.
Or go for the consult. That was my first thing, was like,
Mhm.
as soon as I went for the consultation, I was like, this is fucking real.
Yeah.
And they make you feel so comfortable and so good
Yeah.
about it. And like, yeah, so worth it. So, okay. I always end my episodes with some sort of advice. So we're going to go back to the beginning when you were in your rough time, you were getting bullied. you had a lot going on when you were 16 or 17.
Mhm.
What's some advice that you would have given yourself when you were going through that?
Oh, that's a good one to
Put
give.
you on the spot.
Oh, I know, right? I would say, because I tell myself this, and I tell everyone this, and I would tell my younger self this, is that don't let anyone like dull your sparkle. Everyone is unique and special in their own way. And when people try to dull yours, it's because they are sad internally with themselves and it has nothing to do with you. And I definitely dulled it for a long time and kind of got quiet and like changed my personality. So I would tell myself to never do that again, never change yourself for someone, never dull yourself. And also just to give yourself grace. Like, I think people are so hard on themselves, especially teenagers, so hard on themselves. So just to give yourself some grace and like things do get better. Such a cliche. I hated that saying when I was a kid, but like things get better.
No, it works though. It's so true, and it's, yeah, 100%. I love that.
Oh,
Yay.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much for just your time and taking the time to explain everything and talk about boobs with me.
Yes,
I've been
all the
waiting for that
titties.
topic.
The titties. Thank you so much for having me.
You
This has been so
guys,
fun.
like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next episode. Bye.